So, here's the thing. Sometimes when you're chasing after that good experience, you might end up feeling like you've missed the mark. But if you just roll with the punches and accept that not everything's going to be sunshine and rainbows, you might just find a bit of that peace you're looking for. Picture this. You've got your sights set on becoming a top-notch entrepreneur. You're grinding, putting in the hours, pushing yourself to make it happen. But with every step forward, there's that nagging feeling, right? The one that's constantly reminding you of how much further you've got to go. And man, that gap between where you are and where you want to be, it can really mess with your head, mess with your confidence, your mood, all that good stuff. This idea isn't new though. Epicurus hit the nail on the head ages ago when he said, if you want to be rich, don't keep chasing after more cash. Instead, try wanting less. And this whole backwards law thing, it's like the harder you hustle for something, the more you might end up feeling like you're not getting anywhere. It's wild, right? We've always been told that hard work is the golden ticket to success and happiness. But the backwards law, it's like, hold up. Sometimes when you push too hard, you actually end up shooting yourself in the foot. If you're finding value in what we're discussing, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us out. And if you're feeling extra supportive, consider becoming a member. Your support goes a long way in helping us continue to bring you more content like this. It's all about finding that sweet spot, knowing when to grind and when to just let things flow. And then there's Alan Watts. This guy was all about blending Eastern philosophies, Buddhism, Taoism, you name it, with Western thought. He's kind of the bridge that brought these ideas over to us. One of the biggest gems he dropped was this backwards law concept. Sure, it's rooted in Taoism or Zen Buddhism, but Watts? He's the guy who really spelled it out for us. The more you try to grip onto something, the more it slips through your fingers. This law is all about vibing with the natural flow of things. When you stop trying to force stuff, you often end up getting what you were after in the first place. It's like instead of chasing after the next big thing, maybe take a step back and think about what you really want out of life. What's driving you? What's the deeper meaning? Watts nailed it when he said, we don't really know what we want because we can't clearly define it. So maybe it's time to stop chasing and start being. Just a thought. So the backwards law isn't about just tossing your goals out the window or caring less about what you want in life. Nah, it's more like a wake-up call to channel your energy into what truly matters to you. It's about digging deep, really analyzing what's driving you, and figuring out what you genuinely desire. When you do that, you start to get a clearer picture of your real needs, what actually makes you tick. This principle, it's all about turning inward, questioning why we're after certain things, and checking if they line up with our core values. It's kind of like a reality check, helping us spot those moments when what we think we want doesn't really match up with what we actually need. And that, my friend, leads to making smarter decisions and living a life that feels way more fulfilling. First off, let's talk about happiness. Ever notice how the harder you chase it, the more it seems to slip away? It's like trying to catch smoke with your bare hands. The backwards law flips the script, challenging that whole idea that happiness only comes from hitting certain milestones. The more you're obsessed with finding it, the more it seems to dodge you. But if you just chill a bit, stop trying so hard, happiness has a funny way of sneaking up on you. Then there's anxiety. Man, trying to control every little thing in life, it's exhausting, right? And more often than not, it just ends up making us more anxious. The backwards law steps in here too, reminding us that sometimes the best thing you can do is let go. Stop trying to micromanage your emotions and the world around you. When you do, you start finding some real peace of mind. Money? Same deal. When you're all about getting rich, you can end up feeling broke no matter how much cash you're stacking. True wealth? It's more about your mindset than your bank account. And love? When you stop chasing it, when you focus on really getting to know yourself, that's when love has a way of finding you. It's about attracting the kind of love that truly fits who you are and what you value. Now, Arthur Schopenhauer, this German philosopher dude, he had some strong thoughts on this whole chasing after more thing. He believed that our constant craving for more is totally irrational. In his view, everything in the universe, including us humans, is driven by this will to live, pushing us to seek satisfaction in all sorts of ways. But here's the kicker. This endless striving fueled by our will is what causes all human suffering. Schopenhauer was convinced that this relentless desire for more than we need just sets us up for a life of constant dissatisfaction. According to him, the only way out of this cycle is to detach ourselves from this will, which he saw as the ultimate goal of human life. The mind? Man, it's always feeling like something's missing, that the present moment isn't enough. This feeling? It pushes us to chase after situations we think will make us happier. But when we finally get there, we often find ourselves just as dissatisfied as before. Schopenhauer summed it up perfectly. Every keen pleasure is an error and an illusion, for no attained wish can give lasting satisfaction. So when it comes to using the backwards law in your life, affirmations can be pretty powerful, but only if you truly believe in them. Like, if you keep telling yourself, I'm a millionaire, but deep down you're not buying it, that affirmation isn't gonna do much. Your conscious mind will put up a fight, and that belief won't sink into your subconscious. And if it doesn't reach your subconscious, well, it's not going to help you hit those goals. As we dive deeper into understanding how to align our desires with our actions, it's so important to have the right resources to guide us on this journey. That's why I've left a list of 4 incredible books down in the description. These are real game changers when it comes to personal development. They'll help you build on what we're talking about today, offering insights and strategies to take your growth to the next level. So, after we finish up here, be sure to check them out. So, here's the real deal about hitting that millionaire level success. It's not just about focusing on the cash. Seriously, if you're only obsessed with the money, you might miss out on the steps that actually get you there. The secret sauce? It's all about the process. Every little thing you do, whether it's getting a new client, seeing more clicks on your site, or just making a solid call, those are all wins. When you start seeing these small victories as progress, you're training your brain to think in terms of growth and abundance instead of always stressing about what you don't have. Now here's where it gets interesting. You've got to get your desires lined up with your imagination. Sometimes, when we're too locked in on what we want, we end up slowing ourselves down. It's like you're so focused on the big picture that you forget to visualize the steps that'll actually get you there. And let's be real, when something feels out of reach, it's hard to even believe it's possible, right? That's where the difference lies between just wanting something and actually believing you can have it. If you're serious about making the law of reversed effort work for you, your desire and imagination need to be on the same page. Sure, hard work matters, but if you can't see yourself achieving that goal or don't believe in your ability to do it, you're going to have a tough time getting there. So, bottom line, to make those big dreams a reality, you've got to believe in your goals and be able to picture yourself nailing them. Tapping into your subconscious is key. As Napoleon Hill said, your subconscious mind works continuously while you are awake and while you sleep. Joseph Murphy in The Power of Your Subconscious Mind gives this cool example of walking on a plank of wood lying on the ground. No big deal, right? Most of us can do it without breaking a sweat because there's no real consequence if we lose our balance. Here, your desire to walk that plank is totally in sync with your imagination, which knows you can do it. So, boom, task accomplished? No problem. But now, let's mix things up. Imagine that same plank is 20 feet in the air, stretched between 2 walls. Suddenly, the stakes are higher. Now, your imagination isn't just thinking about walking the plank, it's also throwing in thoughts about falling, getting hurt, maybe even worse. That's when the conflict kicks in. Your conscious mind wants to walk across, but your subconscious, which controls 95% of what you do, is like, hold up, this could go south real fast. This is why it's so important to stay in the present moment. Buddha knew what was up when he said, do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment. It's about being here now. Anticipatory anxiety, that's the kind of stress that hits when we're faced with something new or uncertain, making us worry about what might happen. We've all been there. sweating, shaking, heart racing, and a head full of negative thoughts like fear, doubt, or insecurity. It's tough, but staying grounded in the present can help keep that anxiety in check. Dealing with anticipatory anxiety? Yeah, it's tough, especially when you're used to trying to control every little detail. But guess what? Letting go of that need to control can really make a difference. It's not about giving up, it's about finding the right tools, like mindfulness, cognitive behavioral therapy, or just some good old relaxation techniques to help you get a handle on it. When you do that, you start feeling more balanced, letting your subconscious mind have a bit more say in your decisions. Think about it. When you stop seeing challenges as these big, scary obstacles and start looking at them as opportunities to grow, your whole perspective shifts. Suddenly, your intuitive side starts guiding you more naturally. It's like you're training yourself to make decisions that just flow instead of getting all tangled up in overthinking. Let's break it down with something simple, like driving. Remember when you were learning to drive? It was stressful at first. So many things to keep track of. But after a while, your brain got the hang of it, and driving became second nature. You could sing along to your favorite tunes or have a chat with a friend, all while navigating the road. But of course, you still had to stay focused on driving. That's a lot like entering the flow state, a zone where everything just clicks and you're not even thinking about what you're doing. You're just doing it, like a musician lost in the music or a dancer in perfect sync with their moves. But here's the thing, when you start overthinking or trying too hard, you can throw yourself off balance. Overthinking creates mental blocks. Suddenly, you're second-guessing yourself, getting all up in your own head. That's when it gets hard to enter flow state. The trick is to ease up on the conscious control and let things happen more naturally. It's about setting an intention and then trusting yourself enough to let go. Seneca, that wise old philosopher, nailed it when he said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." The more you try to cling to something, the more it slips away. Learning to let go, to stop obsessing over every little detail of your life, is what allows you to truly live in the moment. And when you're present, everything becomes more meaningful. Time with loved ones, the way you feel mentally and physically, even the little things like enjoying a sunset or a quiet cup of tea. Being present helps you tune in to your thoughts, actions, and surroundings. It's like a mirror, reflecting back your strengths and weaknesses, showing you where you can grow. With that kind of self-awareness, you're better equipped to set goals that really align with what you want for your future. And by staying present and intentional in your daily life, you're building a life that's not just about achieving goals, but about finding fulfillment and purpose, one mindful step at a time. As we wrap up, remember, embracing the flow, letting go of that constant need for control, and staying present are key steps on the path to a more fulfilling life. I hope you found these insights helpful, and I'm really grateful that you stuck around until the end. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a like. It really makes a difference. And hey, if you know someone who could benefit from this message, go ahead and share the video with them. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.